Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Lisa here. Welcome back to my table of art. This is my morning voice. Some of you may have forgotten how I sound in the morning, but that's my morning voice. How's everyone doing? I miss you all so very much. I hope you miss me as well. I miss seeing your beautiful faces and working right with you in the classroom. But for now, we're going to have to settle for this, and that's okay. Today is all about pop art. I'd like to talk to you about famous artists that are pop artists. And as you can see behind me, lots of bright, bold colors, lots of ordinary things that you see every day, like soup cans and words, the American flag, and faces of famous people. These are all pop art images that you would see during the pop art era. We're sort of into pop art still because people are still making art out of everyday mundane items, which are things you'd see all over the place. A box of Brillo pads at the supermarket, ketchup and mustard. They're making art out of all these crazy nothing things. Sometimes we wonder, where does art begin and end? Well, that's all up to the individual as far as I'm concerned. So with pop art, we're going to be working with lots of beautiful colors, and I thought it'd be a good time for us to do a little bit about New Jersey. You know, you from Jersey? That's what we're working on today. Like, what's the bird of Jersey? Do you know? Well, I happen to know. It's the American goldfinch. And how about maybe the flower? It's a common meadow violet. Look, here's our bird and the flower of New Jersey. Every state in our country has their own bird, their own tree, their own flower, their own flag. Oh, I even have our flag. There's the flag of New Jersey. And there's New Jersey. So we're going to make a beautiful art project, pop art project, out of New Jersey. You from Jersey? What exit on the Parkway are you? That's a funny joke that people say. What Parkway? What exit are you from? Instead of what town are you from? That's the thing about Jersey folk. They equate you to what exit you are on the Parkway. So, what you're all going to get today, you're going to get this big piece of 12 by 12 paper. We're going to use this, sort of like our canvas. We're going to mount our beautiful colors on this canvas. And you're all going to get 4 brightly colored pieces of construction paper, 4 of them. 2 of them are going to be the warm colors. 2 of them are going to be cool colors. This is orange and yellow. You might get red and orange or red and yellow. This one is purple and green, although on my screen it looks blue. You might get blue and green or green and purple and blue. So long as you have 2 warm colors and 2 cool colors. Because we're going to work with warm and cool colors today. And we're going to work with contrasting or complementary colors. What does that all mean? Well, let me put it to you on an easier way. Let me get my color wheel out. Okay. This is my color wheel. These are, let me take these out of the way. Here. We were using this in another class. This is the color wheel. These colors on this side of the color wheel are all my warm colors. Think about the sun and how bright and warm it is when the sun is hitting you. You have yellow rays and orange rays and red rays coming out of the sun, or maybe even a fire, because you would see red and orange and yellow in a fire as well. So these are all our warm colors, and on this side we have all the cool colors, the blue, purple, and green. So I was talking about complementary or contrasting colors. Well, that's actually very simple. If you look at my purple area of my color wheel, what is directly across from the purple? Well, let's go. It's yellow. That makes that a complementary or contrasting color. So in other words, if I put yellow up against orange, well, it looks very lovely. But if I put yellow and purple, wow, do they pop? Do they complement each other? Even though it looks blue, it's really purple. They complement and they contrast. They give a nice, bold differentiation in the colors, like pop, look at that yellow on that purple. Or let's try the green and the purple. It's kind of, they look nice together, don't get me wrong. But do they pop? Are they complementary? Are there better choices that we can use with maybe the green? Well, let me see. Actually, a very complementary color for green is red. And do you know, we use those colors at Christmas time, red and green. They didn't just make that up. They said, you know what? We need some colors that work well together to make Christmas pop. And here we have red and green. See that? Now let's look at the color wheel. Is red and green opposite each other? They sure are. Here's red on the color wheel, and there's green. Red and green, Christmas. So, while we're working today, we're going to keep in mind warm colors, cool colors, complementary, and contrasting colors. Okay? And then we're going to pop our art. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is I'm going to put this big piece of paper over to the side. We're going to do some watercolors today. And we're going to paint all our symbols of New Jersey. The flag, New Jersey, our bird, and our flower. So what I'd like to do is bring you down to my desk. Let me make sure I have some water before we start. Actually, I have dirty water from the last lesson. So hang on. I'm going to bring you down to my desk so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go get myself some clean water, okay? So I'll be right back. Hang on. See you in a little while. Alright, so now you can see my desk nice and clear. I'm going to back this up a little bit so you see more of my desk area. Okay, so I have my watercolors out. Yeah, I know this looks messy, but that's what artists are. We're messy. Let's start with one of our symbols here. And we're going to choose which colors we'd like, and that's entirely up to you. I would like you to make each one a different color, but you must make sure you use 2 warm colors and 2 cool colors. So maybe this whole page will be warm colors and the next page will be all cool colors. Alrighty? So I think I'm going to start with my American Goldfinch, and I've decided I'm going to make it yellow. You know why? Because yellow is a golden color, and that will help me remember what kind of bird it is when I look at this. And we're just going to paint right over the American Goldfinch. And you can see how I'm going over the picture? That's okay. You know why? We're going to cut this out. So it doesn't matter if I'm going outside the lines or not, because it's all going to be cut out. This makes it all the easier to paint too. So there's my American Goldfinch. The next thing I'm going to paint is my Common Meadow Violets. So to me, if they're my violets, I think I'm going to make them purple. So that will give me one cool, warm color and one cool color. So I've already got it halfway done. So let's get my purple color out, because I'm going to color my violets violet or purple. They're in the same family. Ooh, look at that beautiful purple. And listen, if you don't have watercolors, I don't want anybody getting upset. This project can be done with markers. You can use crayons. You can even use colored pencils. I'm using watercolors because it gives a nice contrast to the paper, the bold colors of the paper, and the somewhat muted bold colors of the watercolor. And I kind of like it. Also, crayons aren't as bold unless you color really, really hard, but it will work. Alright, so I have my violets and my bird painted. So I'm going to take this and hang it up to dry, because there's nothing we can do until this is dry. So let's hang this up. Do not try to cut your pictures out while they're wet. That won't work. It'll only rip your paper. Now we've got New Jersey, and we've got the flag. This is the symbol that's on the flag. This represents, I believe these are like when you till the land. This is an old-fashioned, like, I don't know what it's called. but this is a beautiful symbol for New Jersey. And here's the outline of New Jersey. So you know what? We're the garden state, so I think I'm going to make this green. Because when I think of the garden, I think of greens, vegetables, and all kinds of green, lush trees and plants. So I'm going to paint New Jersey green. But listen, you can paint it any color you want, so long as you make 2 cool colors and 2 warm colors. Okay? So I've got my green New Jersey, the Garden State. I like that. I likey that. And then I need one more, which is the flag. So I already have 2 cool and 1 warm. So that means this one's got to be a warm color. Which color should we make it? How about red? I'm going to use my red paint to paint right over New Jersey's flag. Look at that. Right over New Jersey. Okay, maybe I'll make it a little bit darker. Pop art is all about the bold, bright colors. Okay, make sure we clean our brush, close our paints up, put them away. Because if we clean as we go, it won't be such a big mess when we're done. Let me put my water cup over here. And now I'm going to hang this one up to dry. Just remember, there's nothing we could do until these are dry. Okay, now I'm going to take out that big piece of white paper that we have and the 4 squares of colored paper that I sent to you. So I have 4 beautiful colors. 2 warm and 2 cool. So now we need to place them on the white square. Any order that you want, except you have to alternate warm, cool, warm, and cool. So I want the 2 warm ones opposite each other and the 2 cool ones opposite each other. But you could decide where you want everybody to go. Maybe you want the yellow one on the top and the orange one on the bottom, or whatever color it is that you have. Just so long as they're alternating cool, warm, and nobody is next to each other that is the same. Like I don't want 2 warm colors together, and I don't want 2 cool colors together. So after you decide where you're going to put everybody, we need to glue them down onto the white paper. So how about we start with the yellow one? I think I'm going to leave it like that, the way I just had it. So let's get out our glue stick or your liquid glue, whatever it is that you're going to use to glue down your squares. And try to get all the corners, a little bit of glue on all the corners, and an X in the middle to glue these down. This way we know they're going to stay. I'm working on the black construction paper so you can see everything that I'm doing. And we'll line it up with the white square best we can. Might not be perfect, but the best you can, not to worry. Now, now I've already glued 2 down just to get started. So what I want you to see is that I started off with a warm color and a cool color. You see how they're right next to each other? So if I did warm, cool, my next one is going to be warm. So when we glue down our squares, we're going to get some glue in each corner. Make sure there's glue in each corner of our square, and then X marks the spot. Turn it over And then we want to get it as close as we can to the one that's next to us or above us without leaving a white mark in between. Now I have a white mark coming down the side, and that's okay because we could always trim this. I want to try to keep this line straight. So I think I've got it. What do you think? How does that look? Nice and straight. And don't worry again, we could always trim. So remember, we have a warm color, a cool color, a warm color. So what should I put in this square here? Yes, a cool color. And here's my green cool color. That's going to look really nice together. Checkerboard. That's a checkerboard pattern. So let's put a little glue on each corner of my square. Okay. And I'm going to make sure it's lined up with the yellow one on top, with no white lines in between, and the orange one to this side. So you see there's a little bit of white peeking through, so I'm going to push it over. Might even have to overlap the orange a little bit, and I don't mind that because nobody's going to know the difference. They can't see that it's overlapping. See what I mean? And my colors are lined up and across. So now we have to go back to our symbols because it's time to cut them out. So let's check and see if they're dry. Okay, so I think it's time to check our pictures, and they are pretty dry. So I think it's time we cut these out. So I'm going to bring it back down to my table so you can see what I'm doing down here, okay? So come on down. I'll see you in a minute. There we go. All right, I'm going to start with the American Goldfinch and the violet. So I'm going to get my scissor out. Remember scissor safety. And if you cannot cut and you have somebody helping you, tell them to always remember scissor safety. Now listen, we don't have to cut in these details. We just have to cut around the bird. It's the same effect as if we went really close to everything. I cut it out because it makes it easier to work around the bird. We just got to work around the shape. We don't have to get all the details in. And we want to try to make sure we get all the yellow color in. I could get a little closer here. What do you think? Or I'll leave it the way it is. That works for me. So here's my yellow finch. I'll put him here. I'll put him right here on the computer. And now I'm going to do my violets. So let me cut this nice and close. These are you'll always remember when you look at the color purple that they're violets. So let's cut closer to the area so we'll get the shape of the violets, but we don't have to get all the details cut out. Maybe just this stem. What do you think? We'll do the stem? Okay, and then go around the flower again. That's a pretty flower for the state of New Jersey, isn't it? I love the color purple. What's your favorite color? Wow, you all have different favorites, huh? And here's our violets. So put them right here. Now as I go along, I clean. So let's get rid of this. Throw it in the garbage. And let's go get our other picture. And that's a little wet, but I think we can work with it. So I'm going to cut out New Jersey. First, let me separate these because it makes it so much easier to cut. Now let's cut around Jersey. The Garden State. You from Jersey? What exit are you on the Parkway? Not what town. What exit are you from the Parkway? Here we go. The Garden State Parkway, that is. Now we go round and out and over and under. And here's your New Jersey. And last we have our New Jersey flag. Well, this is the symbol that's on the flag. This isn't actually a flag. Okay, so here we go around the ladies, up and around. Just around the shape of our flag. A symbol of New Jersey. Got a lot of really nice things here in Jersey. How's that look? Okay. Remember, now we clean up. Okay, now we take our 4 symbols of New Jersey and we decide if I have a cool square, I need to put a warm symbol. So I have 2 warm colors. I have the red and I also have the yellow. So now we must think, which one do we think is a better contrast and which one do we like visually better? So here's the yellow and here's the red. Which one do you like? I don't know, but you know what? I'm going to play first and see how I like everything down. Now I have my 2 cool colors and I'm going to put them onto my warm squares and decide which ones I like better. Do I like the purple and the yellow, the green and the orange? I think that looks nice, but I'm going to try something else. I'm going to see if I like the purple on the orange and the green on the yellow. No, I think there's too much green on this side. I'm going to bring this one back. I think it's that, but maybe I think I like this better. Now it's perfect. What do you think? That's the way I'm going to glue my pieces down. And you decide where you want to put yours. And get your glue sticks out and glue down your New Jersey symbols. You from Jersey? All right, I'm going to start with my violets. And I'm going to put my glue stick all around my violets. And I'm going to glue the cool purple onto that warm yellow. And not to forget that stem. Then I'm going to take the symbol of New Jersey's flag and put it on my green square. So I have a cool square with a warm symbol color, which is also complementary on the color wheel. The red and the green, perfect. And I'm going to do orange and green together. I like the way they look together. They're not complementary on the color wheel. They're not directly, I shouldn't say they're not complementary. They're not opposite each other on the color wheel, but I like the way it looks. And I absolutely love the purple and the yellow, and they are complementary on the color wheel. They are directly across from each other on the color wheel. Here's our golden finch, and I remembered that because of the yellow color I chose to color him. So, how do you like it? Pretty beautiful, isn't it? Let me bring it back up here so we can share how much we like it together. So this is our creation of pop art, which is all the beautiful colors. We're using New Jersey and its symbols to make our pop art, which is just everyday, basic, mundane things. And that's what pop art's all about. You take anything you see in daily life and make art out of it. And that's what we did. And we used our beautiful colors, our warm and cool colors, our contrary and contrasting and it's a tongue twister, contrasting and complementary colors. It's the same, even though it's different words and different meanings, it's the same thing. Red and green are contrasting colors, which means they pop against each other, and they're also complementary colors. They complement each other. They go well together. So the only thing I need to do now is I just want to trim the white edge, the extra edge that I have, and then I'm totally done with this, and I can't wait to hang it up. You're going to be so excited, and I can't wait till you bring them home and show them off and hang them up on the wall. I'd be so proud if I were you, because these are so cool. You are pop artists because your beautiful artwork pops. Pop actually stands for popular items. New Jersey's quite popular, and we know all these symbols. Well, at least we do now. All right? So guys, I hope you enjoyed your lesson as much as I enjoyed it, because I really like this project a lot. And I hope you have a good week. Stay well, stay safe, keep art in your life. I hope you miss me like I miss you. And I'll see you guys soon, okay? This is Miss Lisa, your art teacher, saying ciao for now from my table of art. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.